So we're gonna do some attacks from side control, okay? It's very basic. Side control is really, really basic, right? But you need to know how to put your weight on the side control, okay? And know how to attack, let's say armbar or Kimura or the chokes. You know, you need to know how to make the transition without taking the pressure out of your opponent, okay? So a lot of times people are here and they don't know how to put the weight on the opponent, and then they end up losing the position, okay? I always say it's not hard to pass the guard. It's the hardest part is to establish the side control, how to put your weight, okay? So the first thing I want to do when I'm on the side control, I want to hug his head, okay? And then I don't need to grab with my thumb inside his collar here, okay? I can do that, but you see that I give too much space between my arm and his head, so he can always find a space to push me away, okay? Or even to move his head. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go with my biceps really close to his face, and then I'll control right under his armpit right here in this case, okay? It depends of the size of your opponent as well, okay? Some opponents, maybe you're gonna grab here and then you feel that your biceps will touch his face. But most of the time you need to go with your hand all the way, so in order to touch your shoulder on his face. Now you control the gi, okay? A grip that I really like here, I like to open his lapel, okay? And then I'll feed the lapel here. Okay, I like this grip a lot. So it's really strong, powerful, and I staple his shoulder on the mat as well. In the case he tried to underhook my arm or turn sideways, it's harder, okay? And sometimes when I just grab the gi like this, he turns sideways, okay? So I like to open here and grab. All right, so now look, it's all about my weight, okay? So the way I put the weight is using my toes on the mat, okay? I cannot be with my feet like flat on the floor like this. And sometimes I see people working like that, okay? And if I'm flatting on the floor like that, it's gonna be hard for me to push me or put my weight on him, okay? So I need to have my toes on the mat and I'll push, okay? I use my toes to push my weight, okay? And at the same time I'm pushing with my toes, I'm pulling with my hands, okay? So I'll hug him and I'll pull him to me, and at the same time I'll push him against me. Okay, so you smash the guy right now. Okay, you smash the person on the body, right? So my hips cannot be on the floor. A lot of times people pass the guard and they put their hip on the floor. So I like to keep my hip over his hip and push. You see that I'm putting my foot inside the mat here, right? Like this, boom, you even use this a wall, okay? So the floor is kind of like a wall, like pushing all the time, okay? But you need to know how to manage the balance here before you start attacking, okay? Because I cannot push too much like this as well. Otherwise, it's gonna roll me over like this, okay? So I need to know the balance, right? So my weight here is between my ribs and my hip, okay? So I'm controlling him, okay? So right now I'm facing to him. I don't like to break my legs like this. Okay, a lot of people pass the guard and they do this. I don't like this because I feel he can push me, like sit up. He starts sitting up and I start losing the balance, okay? I like to keep the bottom leg behind me here and the front leg here, the top leg on the front of me like this, okay? So now I'm gonna start putting the pressure of my shoulder on him, okay? So this I just passed here, and you see that he always gonna start pushing me away here, like this, okay? He needs to frame in order to defend. Okay. So now look, I'm gonna scoop my leg under his arm, and that's a different situation here. Okay, now I'm not with the weight on him, but I'm with the weight on my knees here right now. But at the same time, I gotta bring my elbows close to me. Okay, and I squeeze my knees against him. Okay, in order to lock him on bottom. Okay, so now I just take this frame out, right? So I have to deal with this one here only, okay? And I use my shoulder on his face. A lot of pressure on the shoulder here, okay? So more you lock his head, harder for him to move, okay? What you need to do when you pass the guard and when you're under side control, you need to make the person on bottom feel comfortable about that, you know? So he needs to feel comfortable when he's on bottom, right? So let's say if he feels like he's gonna start like pushing me hard in the beginning of the position when I start to get here. Okay, start pushing me hard, and then I start putting my weight, and then I start blocking him, and start pushing. So he feels that he can't anymore, so he's gonna relax. Okay? Because nobody can be exploding the whole time here. And once you start relaxing, and that's when I start attacking. Okay? So you cannot attack or try to do any submission if your opponent is pushing away. Start pushing me here, or you start pushing me here, and I start trying to go for Kimura, so you're gonna lose the position. Okay? So you need to wait the moment, the right moment to attack. Okay? All right, so I'm here. There's different ways for him to keep the arm here. Okay? If his arm is on this side, I can push, and I can pass my hand on this side here. Okay, I can do this. All right? Or if his arm is on this side, I can grab my collar with this hand. It really depends. Okay, I cannot grab the collar if you pass the arm on this side. I need to switch. Always like this. Okay? Alright, so it's fundamental class. Okay, fundamentals class. I'm gonna show you guys like very basic stuff here right now. Because I know there's a lot of people, they have a hard time to finish the fight from here. Okay? So now look, because I grab if his arm is on this side, okay, I can stay with my leg here, with my knee close to my elbow, to block that frame, okay? And I still use my toes on the mat to push me, okay? And I tilt my hip towards his hips, right here, okay? So my elbow, it's on the floor here, all right? So now I have two options here to finish him. The first one, if YJ try to frame me here, YJ. I can go grab his wrist and I go for the American. And I don't see much people attacking this, but this position works, okay? So I'm here, he's gonna pass the hand. I go like this, I grab. So keep my elbow on the floor, flatten his wrist on the floor, and face his hand outside, okay? You cannot let his thumb down like this and try to finish, you're never gonna work. So you need to flatten his hand on the floor, and then you start bringing. So you slide first, and then you lift. Okay, that's the first attack. We're gonna do two attacks first, okay? The second attack, if you don't pass the hand, okay? So what I'm gonna do, it's a little bit more complex. I'm gonna push I make a C-grip on his biceps, and I staple his arm, okay? Now, since I trap his arm here so he can't push me anymore, post my hand on the floor, bring my right knee close to his hip, and now I bring sideways, and I use my forearm right on top of his rib cage. So my elbow was outside, my elbow go inside, okay? And I use my weight here. Why? Because if RJ try to put his back on the floor again, he can't, okay? Don't try to attack the person if the shoulder's on the floor. So keep the shoulder off the floor and the back exposed like that. So now you control the gi here. Okay, grab the pins. Okay, turn around. Now I'm gonna wipe the leg over, like we should wipe it here. I make this transition. From here, I go like this. Now I step the other leg over, and I put my foot on the floor right behind his back. Okay? Now the moment that I'm falling here, I like to pass my foot to the other side. My right foot, look, I go like this. I like to pass here. Okay? Because if I keep here, I feel like he got a chance to escape, to duck under, okay? So as soon as I'm changing, look, I step my leg over here. Because then it's harder for him to escape. So why I'm bringing this to me? Because it's harder for him to put his back on the floor or his belly on the floor. Okay? Because if you go here straight, he's gonna turn like this. And then he's gonna end up escaping. Okay? So keep holding here, try to run from me, it's harder for him to run. So now you step the leg over, and then you go for the armbar, okay? Again. The first thing is your weight, okay? So you underhook, grab, control, have your shoulder on his face, okay? Feed the lapel, and the arm will be on this side right now, okay? On this position, okay? The first thing is gonna try to frame on you. Try to frame on me the other side. I'm gonna go here, okay? I can put this like under his arm too, like this. so I can have better control. Pass your hand over, close to my face, this, try to frame. I'm gonna grab here, turn outside and finish. Second one, he's not gonna move, okay? C grip, staple. Push the floor, elbow inside, control his stance. Wipe your leg over, step over, look, you cannot be like this. My knee goes inside between my arm and his body, here. My elbow is outside, okay? Now when I step over, I'm gonna pass the other leg over his arm, like this, okay? Stretch, after I stretch, then I grab, I can pass my leg over his belly if I want. But just if you try to go with the thumb down, he's gonna escape. So you need to bring his pinky towards this side. Try to run, YJ, it's harder for him. Okay? All right, so let's just work on this, and then you go to the next technique. Make sure you do everything with a lot of pressure, a lot of weight. Don't drill like loose. Like just try to keep like strong and heavy, and feel that you're pushing the mat, okay? Let's go, 1, 2, 3. So you see that we attack the arm, and we make sure that we didn't give you space, okay, to the opponent. You see that it's also like I turn in sideways in order to attack his arm to the other side, right? And I feel like when he's sideways, it's easier for me to attack him, okay? So it's hard to attack the person when they have like both shoulders on the mat like this, okay? Only if you can go for the Americana, okay? Or you can go for Kimura, okay? But even on the Kimura here, it's hard to finish here. You need to bring the person sideways in order to attack the Kimura, right? And I feel when he's sideways, either like face towards me or facing outside, I have more options, okay? So, for example, if he's facing this way, I can get the Kimura, okay? I can go to the armbar over, right? I can get guillotines, like loop choke, right? So I can go here and start applying north-south choke as well. Okay, I have more attacks when he's sideways, right? And if you face the other way, same thing, okay? In Jiu-Jitsu, for everything, you need the angle, right? You need to be a little bit sideways in order to attack. Even if you mount here, okay? If I'm on mount position, I need to be a little bit sideways like this to attack him, okay? So I pretty much like force him to be sideways like that. So then I can start attacking Kimura, you know, the chokes here, or taking the back, okay? So it's hard for me to attack when he's like this. So I turn in sideways, you guys turn the person sideways, like after you staple here, you force him sideways. And when you go sideways here, when you bring him sideways, you need to put this forearm, okay, like really heavy on the rib, okay? Just to make sure he doesn't put the back on the floor again, right? So you're curling and at the same time pushing, okay? Putting the weight over. It's like a knee on belly. The forearm is like a knee on belly. It's kind of like this, but using the forearms, okay? Here. All right, so I control the belt and then I start going over like this, okay? And the good thing of passing the leg to this side, it's also to prevent him to link his hands like this. So I can kick and break his grip easier than this way. Okay, so try to keep your foot inside here, so it'll be better for you to have better control. Okay? So now we're gonna work when my opponent frame my face, my neck like this. Okay, he's framing really well. Right? So I'm gonna clear this, right? So I'm gonna hide my head behind his triceps, like this. Okay? I can go for the katagatame here, right? If I want, but we're not gonna work on this today, okay? So I'll push and then I'll change my grip. I'll step my arm over here and I control the other collar, like that. Okay? So my knee here, my right knee, that's close to his hips, needs to be always connected to his hips. Okay? If YJ escaping his hips, I cannot lose that connection, so otherwise he's gonna feel a hacker. Okay, like this. Go back over. So if he escapes the hips, I just try to follow him. And plus, I'll have the elbow here on the other side, so his hip is trapped. Okay, try to escape YJ. It's harder for him to escape. Now I need to turn him sideways again, okay? And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bring him to me like this, and then I'll put him, I turn a little bit this way here. Like my hips will tilt to the side, okay? And you see that if I do this, YJ can post his elbow on the floor. Like he start like trying to escape the hips, right? So, I can work with the staple again, right? I can get the staple here, okay, control, right? So now I bring it sideways, and it's a little bit harder for him right now, okay? But sometimes we don't have time for that, okay? I will show you guys the way I like to finish the armbar, like this, and also I go for a Kimura. And it works really well. When I grab like this, I like, before I turn in sideways, because like I say, if I turn sideways and tilt, he can post the elbow on the floor. I still can have my leg going over his head, and I can move all the way around to go to the armbar, okay? But what I really like to do to keep the pressure on top of my opponent is to move to north-south, okay? So I'll be here, okay, he's gonna frame, I'll push, I'll grab here. And sometimes I don't have, because I'm using this hand, I don't have time to staple his arm like this. Okay, or he even like, don't let me do that. Like, don't let me do that, right? So what I do, I bring this hand right here, my right hand to the other side, I go north-south, like this. And I'll pass over his arm here, like this arm right here, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna scoop my forearm under his armpit, and I'll put a lot of pressure off my shoulder on his elbow, okay? I'll smash my forearm between his arm. So I'll be like this. I put my both knees off the floor. Now I catch the Kimura Trap here, okay? Then I'm gonna start attacking the Kimura or the armbar, okay? In both ways, I'm gonna step the leg over his free arm. Look, I'm gonna step this leg here, over the free arm. So now he can defend. I turn him sideways, keep it between my legs, and then I'm gonna go for the Kimura, okay? If I wanna go for the armbar, then I put my heel right under his armpit, like this. And then I turn, now I step the other leg like this, okay? And with this grip, keep the Kimura Trap the whole time. Because if you try to roll over, like the other way, like belly down, roll belly down, like this, I still have control and I can step my leg over, then I finish it, okay? Again. So I'm here, he's framing, okay? I push, I grab, I go north-south, okay? Now look, I scoop my forearm under his armpit and pinch my shoulder towards his arm, like this. And take my both knees off the floor, okay? Grab the wrist, get the Kimura Trap. Now look, I'm gonna step my leg over. I can put my knee on the floor just for a moment. Step my leg over his forearm here, over his arm, sorry, like this. Okay? I don't like doing this here, just the head, okay? Because I feel you can escape. It's too easy for you. I always like to step this leg here. Okay, so I turn, then I break it, finish, or I go step one, turn, step two. Then I can kick his hand if he grabs his gi or his belt. Grab it, like usually you do this. Sometimes the person controls controls like this, you know. And then it's hard, so I like to take my leg inside and I'll kick his leg away from me, like this. And then I go for the armbar. Okay. Last one. So I'm here, step one. Take the arm out, step over. As soon as you step over, start going to the north-south. Okay? Grab your collar. Okay? Take your knees off the floor. And use your forearm on him like this. Try to move like this. It's harder for him to move. If I go with my knees on the floor, he's gonna move fast. You know, so I put it away. It's like a knee on belly, like I said. Okay? Grab the Kimura Trap, turn it a little bit sideways, step over his arm, scoop your hand under, then you go for the Kimura. Or step 1, turn, step 2. If you grab, I step, open his leg and then get the arm. Then I finish. Okay? You guys have any question? Yes? Yeah, because I kick the leg one side and I bring his arm to the other side. So when usually when I got here, yes, then he start, especially when I'm like this. Okay, I scoop under, and I don't need to kick just the thigh. I can kick like right on the knee here. I can kick like this area. If you have like a smaller legs, if you have a big legs, I can kick right on the thigh. But at the same time I kick that way, I pull his hand to the other way. I go like this, you know. Or sometimes if I can change my grip like this, if you're grabbing that, and then I go here, you know. I open his knee and pull his arm. Try to keep your hands there, YJ. Like I go here, look. I just start opening, okay? And I push towards the floor like this. You know, I don't push that way, because if I push that way, you keep your hand inside, YJ. Like, you know, like sometimes you try to break like this, it's really strong. Okay, I go here, or better, I do like this all the time. You know, I feel like it's easier for me to break. Okay. All right, let's work. 1, 2, 3.